Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to be finally flying the A380 after years of development. The alpha version has been released. We're going to be using Qatar Airways 8 all the way from London Heathrow to Doha International Airport, which is Hamad International Airport. Our flight time is going to be around 6 hours and 45 minutes. I'm going to be going through everything throughout the flight, from cold and dark, to taxi, to takeoff, to cruise, approach, and obviously landing. It's going to cover a lot of the A380 system, I'm getting the feel of that plane, gives you an insight of how the plane functions, maybe some issues here and there, what's available, what's not available. It's a very beautiful aircraft. I've flown a couple of test flights and it's just so impressive what they've done, and I really can't wait till the full release is out. So let's get straight to it and fly this plane. As you can see, this is the beautiful A380 aircraft made by FlyByWire, Qatar Airways livery. We're currently located in Terminal 4 in London Heathrow Airport. It's currently still cold and dark, so let's get straight to it and bring the aircraft to life. So first, we start by turning on the batteries. Then we have external power available, so we can turn that on. Then after we have that, we can set the IRSs to nav. Check everything is right. Cruise supply, we can turn that on. We can turn on our navigation lights. Seatbelt sign can go on. Mobile, no mobile can go on. And we can arm our emergency lights. We'll keep the fuel pumps off for now because we're using ground power, and once boarding is almost complete, we'll turn on the APU. Obviously, we're gonna need the fuel pumps, so we're gonna turn on the fuel pumps right before we turn on our APU. So yeah, that should be it. Now IRSs are aligning, everything should be good. There's electrical power to the aircraft. Let's import our flight plan from SimBrief. Double check if that's correct right here. So yep, it's EGLL to OTHH. As you can see, your fuel weight is going to be 346.3 kilo, 346.3 tons, cost index of 200. Sweet information. All right, so now we can start with some ground services. We can start with requesting the fueling from GSX, so we can get the aircraft nice and fueled up. So we can request refueling.
Fueling truck is on its way.
And also request catering truck.
Please don't load aircraft until
and
the
as
fuel
that
truck
happens,
arrives and ask to do it.
All right, as that happens, we're going to be loading how much fuel we need. It says 89,200, and let's double check that on our SimBrief because this is a new aircraft. Sometimes it may glitch. So our block fuel is correct right here, 89.2 tons, and our payload is going to be 445 passengers, correct. So we got all our information right. So now we're gonna wait for the. Now we're going to be waiting for the fuel. Now, as the refueling is currently happening and catering is getting on board, we can set up the MCDU for now. So let's do that. So if we go to the MCDU, we gotta set our flight plan. We can go to active, we can go to initialization. On this aircraft, we're gonna have to manually fill it in because there's no fill-in yet. It's an alpha version. So let's get our SimBrief and set our route. So we're going to be our flight number is going to be Qatar Airways 8. We're going to be flying from Echo Golf Lima Lima, which is London Heathrow, to Oscar Tango Hotel, Oscar Tango Hotel, which is Doha. And our alternate airport will be OEDF. So OEDF can go here. We can set that to, we can keep that how it is. Our current cruising altitude is going to be flight level 370, 37,000 feet. Cost index, as we saw in the primary flight display, it was Cost index of 200. Okay. So cost index is going to be 200. And our winds, we do not have winds currently. I don't have ATIS, so yeah. So then we can go ahead and set up our flight plan, which is the most important one, obviously. So we're going to be departing runway 09 right in EGLL in London Heathrow. Set that as our departure. Runway 09 right using SID Delta Echo Tango 1 Juliet, this one, and we do not have any transition, so we can put it in our flight plan. And then if we go to our arrival airport, which is Doha, we're going to be approaching runway 34 right, landing on runway 34 right. We're going to be using approach of oh, we have to set ILS 34 right. Yep, ILS 34 right. We're going to be using the star Hotel Alpha Yankee Alpha 1 Romeo. So basically Haya 1R. High 1R, Haya 1R. I guess that's it. Haya 1R. That should be it, I believe. Do we have any vias? We do not have vias. No transition, so we can plug that into our flight plan. Insert that flight plan. And now our next step is to check for discontinuities. But before we do that, let's request our boarding. So we can go to GSX, we can here say request boarding. All right. So now let's just check for discontinuities real quick. We can set this to plan and then zoom in a bit and then use the step button to see if we have any discontinuities. We have our first one right here. So what we can do is click on it and just simply press delete. It's so neat how this FMC works, sort of similar to the A350. Pretty neat. I love this MCDU. Very modern. So we have another discontinuity here, but that's only because it's a manual. Well, we're not going to be going to vectoring in, so we don't need a manual. So let's just delete the manual, delete that, and then delete the discontinuity just so we can sort of have this one approach here directly to runway 34 right. So we can, oh, I forgot, let's insert that and then come here and delete that and then insert it again. And then boom, we have a beautiful and smooth flight plan all the way to Doha. Now this one right here is our missed approach, but we don't have to do that. We can do that later on when we're in cruise altitude or almost close to our top of descent. We can plan that properly. Now one thing I hate about this MCDU, it isn't like the A320. You see how I had to go all the way back to start from the beginning? That's pretty annoying, but it's okay. So yeah, now that everything should be set up, we're gonna wait for our passengers to start boarding, and after that happens, we're going to be setting our performance and fuel and weights and all that. And yeah, let's just wait for the passengers to board. Okay, so now that the passengers have started boarding and our baggage is inside the aircraft, we can start setting up our fuels, zero fuel weights, our weights, and our performance, takeoff performances. So we can go on the, oh, misclick again, MCDU or FMS. We can go to our fuel and load. Let's pull up our sim brief right here. Let's pull it up. As you can see, our zero fuel weight is going to be, expected zero fuel weight, 346,287, so we can put that in 346.3, rounding it up. Our zero fuel weight CG, we can get that from the EFB actually. So if we go to 5 and then go to our payload, sorry, we can find it here. 35.26 is going to be our percentage. So let's go back to the MCDU. So it's 35.26. 35.26. Enter that. And then our block fuel, as we said, you can also check it. Fuel, 89.2 tons. So we can plug it in here. 89.2 tons. And then our passengers, we can get that from SimBrief. It is, we have 445 passengers on board. So 445 passengers on board. That should be it for now. We can leave the rest. Unless we can calculate our takeoff performance calculations. So here, there isn't a calculator in our EFB. Usually, if you go here to the calculator, there's two sections. One's for takeoff performance or landing performance, and then here's top of descent. But we don't have that yet in the A380. So what we can do is use SimBrief, our performance tool in SimBrief. So if we go back to our MCDU, right? We gotta do this real quick. We can go here, performance and tools. Aircraft is going to be A380, 800, fly-by-wire, airport EGLL. We're going to be takeoff runway 09 right. 09 right is going to be our takeoff runway, and our weight is going to be our zero fuel weight, I guess, or total weight. We can check that in the briefing preview. It's going to be takeoff weight 434.4 tons. So 434, 400 tons or kilograms. So if we calculate that, we're going to have a V1 of 141, VR of 153 knots, and a V2 of 159. So we can set that here. 415359, 141, 153, and 159. So we can enter that. We're going to use Toga. We're not going to be using Flex. And for our thrust percentage, we can get it from here. So our goal is 42%. So we set it for 42%. And flaps, we gotta double check what flaps they recommend us to take off with. Flap setting 1. So that's correct. Flap setting 1. Everything should be fine. So our climb profile, we already put cost index 200. Cruising flight level. What is our flight level? 370. So we can put flight level 37,000 or 370. We can just do that. 37,000 feet. And then we can let everything sort of calculate itself here and here. And then during the approach, we can probably set our winds if we have ATIS, which we probably won't. So I'm going to set that to 0 probably. And then this is just the go around performance feature. So yeah, we should be good for now. We have our flight plan down. We have our fuel sets, fuel calculation set. And we also have our performance for takeoff and climb. So yeah, now we just wait for the passengers to finish completely boarding, and we can request for departure and push back. So now that we have the passengers fully in the aircraft, everyone has boarded the aircraft, as you can see here, 445 out of 445, we can start the APU. And in order to do that, we have to turn on the fuel pumps first. So we can turn on all the fuel pumps right here. A lot of fuel switches here in this A380, big aircraft. And after our fuel pumps are on, we can simply just start the master switch on and auto start. And then it'll automatically start. If we can see it somewhere here, I forgot where that. If you go to APU right here, I think, oh, yep. You can see the EGT start to rise and the APU basically start. So we'll wait for that to show available. And after that, we can tell GSX to prepare us for pushback, so we can taxi onto the runway and take off. So let's do this. So now that the APU is available, we can turn on our APU bleeds. Oh, APU bleeds are on. And then now we can start and request the pushback. Alright, now that our engines are started, let's change the power. Let's show them the engine pumps. Engine bleeds are already on. Okay. We can turn off the APU. We can set that engine start to normal and turn off the APU since now we're getting power from the engines. Let's set our takeoff flaps, which is flaps 1 actually. And arm our spoilers, turn on our taxi lights, and check our flight controls. So if we go to flight controls, we can check our flight controls. Let's do elevator up, elevator down, ailerons right, neutral, ailerons left, neutral, and our rudders. Rudder right, rudder left. And let's press B to check our QNH is the correct one. Our QNH for today is going to be 30.03. And let's head and taxi to the runway now. So we are currently holding short of runway 09 right. Since we don't have ATC, we're obviously clear for departure. So let's prepare for departure so we can turn on our beacon lights and strobe lights. We can turn on all our lights right here, set that to takeoff, seatbelt signer on, everything should be fine. TCAS, I don't know how to work this. I mean, there's no TCAS, the buttons don't work in this one, so I guess we're gonna just leave it how it be, let it be. And yeah, we are cleared for takeoff, and I hope you join the takeoff. Let's set our thrust, let's turn on our flight directors. We almost forgot that. So let's set our thrust at 50%. After that, we can set toga. One thing I noticed about this aircraft that it is extremely wobbly for some reason, very sensitive on the rudder, and any that should be V1. Rotate. Gear up. As you can see, the ascent on this plane is pretty unrealistic. So it ascends way too quick. Usually A380 doesn't do that, but hey, what do you expect from an alpha version? We can lower the main volume for now. And yeah, let's turn off our lights. Turn off our lights right here. They can go off, 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 off. And we can keep nav beacon and strobe lights on. Seatbelt signs can go off on auto, which is off. And yeah, we're going to be cruising at flight level 370 and see you at top of descent. Now it's just going to be a cinematic. Okay, now we have reached our top of descent position, and as you can see, we started top of descent a bit earlier. We're currently at 29,700 feet. We were at 37,000. We're letting the aircraft sort of do its thing, and if we want to look at the Doha charts, we're going to be landing runway 34 right, and this is the chart for Doha runway in 34 right. And as you can see, if we want to make this a bit bigger, it says here level off at 2,500 and meet the glide slope at Hotel 911. Our glide slope is going to be 3 degrees, 5.2% localizer only. We're going to be using an ILS landing, and just in case of a missed approach, climb straight ahead to Hotel 902. When passing 1,000 but not before Hotel 902, turn right direct to Bosup, climbing to 3,000. So basically we're going to be, after we reach Hotel 902 and 1,000 feet, we're going to be turning around, going back here, reaching our holding position somewhere around here. That's in case of a missed approach. So hopefully we have no issues. We land on the first try, and yeah, level of 2,500. Let's just set that real quick. Change that to hundreds. 2,500 is our level off before we officially meet the glide slope. So yeah, we're slowly descend, and we'll see you there. since we are approaching the runway, we almost forgot to do this actually. We gotta set the barometer and the radio and basically the approach performance. Doha temperature is 26 degrees outside, QNH 2997, and we're gonna set the barometer, which is Cat 2, ILS Cat 2. We'll set that at 100 feet. Oh, this happens every time. 100 feet. And the radio, we're going to set that at 87. So now we should be ready for our approach performance. We have our minimums and all the information we need. We're going to be doing flaps full. So yeah, let's just approach now. It's all about time. So now we can start to see our diamonds for our ILS approach. Our height is here, the diamond. It should align soon with this at 2,500. And this is the sort of horizontal ILS diamond system. So the goal of the aircraft is to make the diamond reach those yellow lines right here. And as you can see, we're slowly slowing down to 220 knots right now. Very beautiful views outside. Beautiful approach onto Doha. If you can use this view too. As you can see, that is our runway, 34 right. We're slowly going to start to turn and align with the runway. It's going to be a beautiful sunset approach, as you can see. Very beautiful. And yeah, it's all about time now. So we are aligning with our runway, reaching almost 2,500 feet. As you can see, this one now should align dead on. We are slowly slowing down to our approach speed, or final approach speed, at 142 knots is our calculated. So let's start to set up everything now that we are aligned with the runway. We can turn on all our lights. We can call, this button doesn't work, but usually you'd call crew to warn the crew that we are about to land. We can pull down our landing gear and set flaps to 1. And as this happens, now they're aligned, we press APP mode. So now we're in approach mode, slowly gonna start descending.
$2,500.
You can set flaps 2, flaps 3, full flaps. Slow down to our approach speed. Now see, one thing with this aircraft, you have to be careful. It's very, very, very wobbly, very sensitive. Its avionics need a bit of work, but it's okay because it's the alpha version. They're definitely going to be able to fix them later on once the whole full thing releases. So we can see our runway right here. So I'm not expecting a smooth landing, but I'm gonna try my best. Obviously, keeping centerline is gonna be very difficult because sometimes it starts moving on its own. I don't know if it's just me or maybe it's my joystick. Please let me know down in the comments. Usually this doesn't happen for me in other aircrafts, only in this one. So I'm just pretty curious. So yeah, so almost forgot that. Auto brake, we can set that to 2. Headwind, 1 degree headwind, 13 knots. Winds are okay, they're not that bad. So winds are on our side, basically. Beautiful, beautiful approach, sunset approach into Doha in Qatar. Beautiful approach. I don't know why this default airport doesn't have poppy lights. Pretty annoying because I'd like to see the poppy lights. It's easier to, you need them obviously for visual approach. But this is Microsoft Flight Simulator.
1,000.
There we go, 1,000. I'd like to take controls now. Okay, we have controls. The wind is slowly gusting it to the right a bit. We gotta really fix that. Center with the runway. Look down the runway.
400.
We're a bit low. It wobbles way too much, this aircraft, but let's see.
Hundred above. Minimum 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Nice landing. Thrust reverse, slowly on the nose. We can try to exit here. 60 knots, thrust reverse can go away.
Auto brake off.
Oh, that's a nice call out. That's pretty neat. Okay, let's exit the runway. That was a beautiful landing. We loved that landing. It's pretty nice. We can stop here just for a bit. Remove that master switch. We can set our parking brake just real quick. We gotta disarm the spoilers. Flaps can go up all the way. This can go back to disarm. It automatically does that. We can set our taxi lights to taxi. We can turn off the landing lights, runway turn off lights and wing lights, and we keep those. So this is it, our flight from London Heathrow to Hamad International Airport with the A380 Qatar Airways. I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you enjoyed the landing. It was a pretty nice landing for a really difficult plane to operate at this stage of its development. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Drop any questions you have in the comments. Any more videos you want to see, maybe an Emirates flight we can do, maybe from Dubai to KLAX maybe. And yeah, leave any comments below, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much.